I was bullied so badly when I was in junior high school that I ended up joining a gang for protection. That might not be what you would think when you look at me, but it's true. When I was in the 8th grade, I was a shrimp. I'm still short, but I was teeny tiny. I was really awkward. I was so unattractive, and people picked on me because I was weak and I was insecure, and I so badly wanted to be popular, and I was a poser. That's what they called me, because I wanted to be popular and because I hung out with, or tried to hang out with, the popular girls. And I went to a public junior high school in West Los Angeles. You wouldn't think that it would be so rough, but it was. And one day I upset one of the popular girls, and she turned against me and turned the school against me and alerted local gangs that I was the new enemy. And in one day my world changed. And I had scribed on my locker. I came to school and scribed on my locker was bitch, and everything in my locker was on the floor, and my pants were pulled down, and I had no friends. And it continued like that. I was thrown into a dumpster. I started hanging out in the teachers' offices during snack and lunch. After school, people threw bricks at my head. And I came home to death threats on my answering machine. That if I left the house, that if I told my parents, that if I told the teachers, that they would kill me. So I didn't leave the house. And there were 3 feelings that I had. One was fear. I was really afraid of what they would do next. The second was embarrassment of what they already had done. And then I became depressed. Just really, really depressed. And it was hard because I didn't have anyone to talk to, because I really did believe that the bullies would kill me. And if not kill me, torture me even more. I mean, I had to literally hold the waistband of my shorts when I was walking around, because if I didn't, then they pulled my pants down walking upstairs. That happened a couple of times, and then I would, of course, trip on my pants and fall down the stairs with my butt hanging out. So for a year I wouldn't leave the house, and I wouldn't tell my mom. And one time I did tell one of the bullies who called to tell me off, because I got several calls a day. I only got calls from bullies, no friends called me. But I told them my dad is concerned and he thinks something's going on. And she said, tell your dad we're going to kill him too. So that was it. I didn't tell them. My mom went and checked my messages one day and heard what was going on, and she contacted the mother of one of the girls who was bullying me. She's a girl who was my friend before, but she joined the pack of people who were against me, because that's what you do, I guess. And my mom, I came home from school one day, and the girl's mom was at my house, and I thought, oh God, I cannot believe we're doing this. I was so scared, and it made things worse. And I think in that situation, parents don't know what to do. They don't know why their child has suddenly gone dark. And they want to go and tell the authorities, which I don't think isn't necessarily a good idea, because as much as the authorities might be able to punish the children, give them detention, let their parents know, there's also a lot of private time when the children are tortured, like on the bus or walking to school or in classes, in between classes, in the bathroom, in the hallways. And it can be really scary. So what do you do? Well, if you're being bullied, do your best to remove yourself from the situation. So don't engage. Don't provoke them. I mean, sometimes you can. Sometimes people fight back, and I couldn't, though. I was very little. I couldn't fight back. I wasn't going to win that fight. That was impossible. So remove yourself from the situation. Make new friends. Make friends outside of school. That's what I did. I made friends that were in a gang, and they went to a different school. They were older than I was. They had a car, and they were able to pick me up from school and drive me home so that I didn't get beat up. And they made me feel safe. And I ended up becoming part of the gang, and it saved me. I didn't do any bad things. I didn't beat people up. I didn't, tag. I didn't do any of that. I was kind of like the pet of the gang. I was like this sweet little girl. And my parents started to notice that I'm hanging out with these really tough guys all of a sudden. What's Laurel getting into? And that's when I talked to them about it, and they pulled me out of that school system and they sent me to private school, which I was very lucky about that they could, because it saved my life, I believe. And then I became popular at that school because I finally went through puberty, and I had these really strong guys who were protecting me, which was pretty cool. But it's not just about bullying on the playground. I'm also bullied today. I'm 35 years old, and I'm cyberbullied by adults. And cyberbullying can be, although you don't have the immediate threat of being physically injured, it can be almost even more torturous because you can't hide. You can't hide at home because it's always there. Through your phone, through the internet, through emails, through, it's just there. It's harder to get away. The internet gives people a sense of power because they're hiding behind a screen and they're speaking through their fingers. And sometimes people don't think as much when they're speaking through their fingers. They don't realize that what they're saying is actually being delivered to a real human being, and that what they're saying stings. You grow up being told to think before you speak, but you're not told to think before you type. And that's where the real pain can come. And it's not, I don't think that people necessarily mean to be cyberbullies. Some people do. Some people, they want to torture you and push you and be nasty and send these horrible emails and write these horrible comments. And I have been the victim of that. I mean, I've been in one day told that I was hideously ugly, so fat I was a cow, some really horrible things that I don't want to repeat because it's very just disgusting. Telling me that I'm a complete failure, and when am I going to realize that my parents have never been proud of me, and why don't I just end it? That I'm so skinny I look anorexic. So one day fat, next day skinny. Just anything. That I'm a stupid blonde bimbo whore, and probably screwed everyone on the football team. I was actually being pummeled back then by bullies. People just make assumptions because they can. Because they want to, because they're having a bad day, because you said something that triggered something in them, because they just don't like you, because you're too pretty, too ugly, too fat, too thin, too awkward, too smart, too different, too successful, too whatever. You have a lisp, you have hearing aids, whatever. My sister has hearing aids, and when she was a very, very little girl, she was bullied because of that. And thank God that didn't follow her through junior high school. She was amazing. She had amazing friends around her, thank God. But it was horrible to watch when she was a little girl. But anyway, cyberbullying. So, cyberbullying, oftentimes there are accidental cyberbullies. And you might even be one of them and not know it. If you comment on Yelp, on YouTube, on an article in the comment section, you send an email through Facebook, you see someone on TV and they upset you and you send them a nasty email, that can hurt. So think before you write that, because people are putting themselves out on the internet. Restaurant owners, they are bashed over Yelp. Why are you bashing them really? Do they go to your job and you do one little screw up and they bash you? Tell you how horrible you are, what an idiot you are, how you screwed up their entire day, their life, because you made one wrong phone call or did one wrong little thing. We fixate on the little things, and then they become big in our minds, and we write these huge, horrible letters, and they hurt. I was bullied so bad online one time that I felt shredded. I wanted to give up. I mean, what am I doing? Why am I putting myself out here? What's the point if I'm just gonna be terrorized? I'm not getting paid to put up these videos, and then And then I was being completely broken down, and so why do I keep doing this to myself? So before you comment, think. If you still want to write that, okay, write it. But then give it a beat before you post it. It's kind of like when you're contacting an ex because you're depressed or drunk, and it's best to think before you send that text, before you send that email, because the next morning you might wake up and say, I cannot believe I sent that email. Same thing. But it might not affect you, the sender. It'll affect the recipient. So think before you send. Thankfully for me, I've been bullied twice, but I have become empowered by the pain. And I've learned a lot about myself and about other people, and I try and turn that into a positive. And I try and let things fall off my back, and I try and empower other people and motivate other people. And I know the pain that other people are going through because I've been through it myself. And that's a lot of what I try and put into my videos and my books and my blog posts, is that empowerment. Whether it's because you're working out, because in your relationship, in your business, in your day-to-day, my goal is to empower. And the reason why I'm shooting this video is because although I am called the Quickie Chick and I give quick tips, there's substance behind it. It's not just a blonde bimbo who is giving some tips. I've been there. I have had hardship. I have experienced pain. I've cried a lot. And my goal is to help everyone else so that you don't have to have that pain and hardship. Learn from my mistakes. Don't make them yourself. And if you're being bullied, just know that you're not alone. I've been there. I am there. And I continue to stand up tall, and sometimes it hurts me and it pushes me down, but I do my best. And you kind of do have to have a tough skin when you're an adult and let it go. And it can be hard, but you have to remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for and why you're a good person. Because you are. Don't let them hurt you. Don't let them derail your spirit. I know it hurts. I've been there. And I just wanted you to know that.